The reason why I started doing this channel is because I own a lot of video games. The problem with having such a big collection is that you often have titles that you've barely played, not completed, or not even made it into the console or computer that it was intended for. But there are a lot of reasons why someone wouldn't finish a game. Maybe it was so bad you simply dumped it into a pile of discs hoping to forget, and then many years later you pick up said game, only remembering the name, determined to get value for money for your collection, and so you force yourself over and over just to get to the unrewarding final screen. At least I don't have to do this again. Chopper X was one of those games that we got with our first 520 ST. One of the many black disc games along with Rampage, Super Sprint, International Karate, to name but a few. It was made in 1989 by Paradox and published by Mastertronic. As you can probably guess, this is a pretty standard single player overhead helicopter shooter where you have to blast everything in your way and ultimately survive. You have two methods of attack. Your standard guns, which are activated by the fire button, and bombs, which can be used via the spacebar. In terms of the controls, there's not a lot that can go wrong here, and there's no real collision detection problems, so technically it does everything alright in terms of that area. It's a shame about the rest of it though. Graphically the game isn't great. It's an early ST game, sure, but I've seen earlier games look better than this. There's no animation in the background, so you won't see the sea moving, and things like the trains are static on the track. It also doesn't make good use of the limited colour abilities of the ST, with the enemies such as the grey planes blending into the road, and sometimes it can be really difficult to see the enemy bullets, which as you can expect is a problem. The other thing which I would complain about is the jerky scrolling. You may have to look closely at the top of the screen, but it's definitely there, and it really annoys me when games have that. I really hate the music in the game as well. It's the same 30-second loop over and over again. It's so chirpy that I have to turn the volume down just so I can play the game well. It's like the awful MIDI tunes are there just to annoy you, or at least they annoy me. The game is fairly difficult in that it's punishing in that it's quick to kill you when you slip up, and it will put you back to the start of the level rather than resurrect you where you die. However, since all the enemies always spawn at the top of the screen, my technique is to remain at the bottom and sway left and right, constantly shooting. There are no bosses, and all the enemies seem to have a very similar pattern of attack and die in one hit, so this technique works really well. The only time it doesn't work, ironically, is at the start of each stage, where I actually died the most. The reason for this is whereas a good game would give you a few seconds breather before bringing on the first enemy wave, this one decides, nope, let's just start right away. The enemies just teleport onto the screen out of nowhere, already shooting at you before you have a chance to react. I've died so many times because of this, and I don't think there's a way of getting extra lives in the game, so you're forced to memorize the cheating game's attack patterns. For instance, I think it's at the start of level 6, where you literally start, and if you don't press up, you'll instantly be killed by the two enemy guns right next to you. Overall, I would not recommend this game. There are much better shooters on the ST. I played this as a kid, I really hated it, and I still don't like it. But nevertheless, I played this about half an hour each day for the entirety of this week until I can actually complete it, and I finally actually recorded footage of me completing it. And so that's what we're going to be showing you now. So if you really can't stand this game like most people, then feel free to watch this and see the really unrewarding ending, because like most bad games, this has a really bad ending. And here's my footage for Chopper X. Let's get it all the way to the end.